So the name given when a liquid changes into a solid. Again, this is pure core knowledge, but liquid going to a solid is freezing. We'll circle that one. And then we've got a graph here. Let's make sure we understand the graph before we start to answer the questions. So in the statement here, it says a gas was left to form a liquid. So up here, this means this is the gas phase. And down here, this means it is the liquid phase. The region between B and C is where the change in state is happening. And if you remember, going from a gas to a liquid is the condensing point. Okay, so between B and C, we've got condensation taking place, and then the liquid will have formed at point C. So it says from A to B, this one says a gas, C to D is a liquid. State the time when the gas first started to form a liquid. So this horizontal point here is where the gas starts to change. And if we come down to here, that's starting to form at 2 minutes. Next one, calculate the number of minutes it took from the gas first starting to do that until it was completely a liquid. So again, this horizontal region is where that change is taking place. So here, by the point C, is where the change has ended. And point C is 6 minutes. So it's gone from 2 minutes to 6 minutes. So it's taken 4 minutes for the change in state to take place completely. Okay, we've got some melting and boiling points in a table. And it says, give the letter of a substance that is a solid at 20 degrees. Okay, so what if you're stuck with these kind of things, I always advise you draw a little number line. And I'm going to start with Z and work my way up the list. So Z has got, let's put 0 on here, and then you've got 114 is the first important temperature, and that's the melting point. And then up here at 184, we have got the boiling point. And if you remember, before something melts, it's a solid. So in this region here, this is a solid. Once it's melted, it becomes a liquid and will stay a liquid until it boils. And once it's boiled, it's become a gas. So if we mark 20 on here, so 20 on the number line would be about there. You can see that this would actually be a solid, and the question says which one would be a solid at 20. So the right answer for that first one is Z would be the solid at that temperature. Give the one that be a substance that is a liquid. Now, just actually worth saying before we move on, had this not been correct, I'd have done the same thing for Y and worked my way up until I got the one that was right. So give one that's a liquid at 50. So working this one out, again, I'm gonna work my way up because I know it's not going to be Z now. Let's draw another number line, and we'll do this for Y. So Y has got -7, and that is the melting point. And then up here you've got 59, and that is the boiling point. Let's put some conditions on here. So before it melts, it's a solid. Once it's melted and before it boils, it's a liquid. And once it's boiled, it is a gas. The temperature they want us to look at is at 50. So on my number line, 50 would be about here. So that would mean that at 50, this is going to be a liquid. And the question says give one that's a liquid. So it's going to be substance Y would be a liquid at that particular point. Okay, next one. 4 diagrams, draw a straight line from each one. Let's just, before we look at the options, let's just remind ourselves here. So this one here is an element, all the same type of particle, and also that kind of structure is, well, that kind of structure is a solid object. This next one here, this one is likely to be a gas, and if you look carefully, that's one type of molecule, And then there are different molecules in there, and there's another one, but they're not, the molecules are not bonded to each other. So that's a gas, but it's also a mixture. And then this one here, again, is going to be a gas because the objects are far apart. There's two different types, so that's also going to be a mixture. This one here, hopefully you recognize that as an alloy, so it's a mixture of metals, and therefore they're packed tightly together, so solid. And this one here, the particles in each one of these molecules are the same, so this is also an element, and they are spread out, so therefore it is a gas. So if we go back to the question now, the first one says which is zinc. Well, zinc is a element, and it's a solid because it tells us a solid. So the only one in there that matches that is this one here. And then hydrogen. Hydrogen is also an element, and it's a gas. The only one that matches that is this one here.